My name is Rain, and I'm coming to you from Victory Gardens by Rain. That's me. I'm Rain, in case you didn't notice. I'm excited to invite you guys into my home and into my yard to give you some information about gardening. There's a lot of information out there right now, and sometimes it's confusing. And I just have a heart to share this with you all and to bring gardening, backyard gardening, cut flower gardening. We're going to be talking about a whole lot of different things in a whole lot of different ways. And I'd like to invite you guys to join me in this journey. I'm super excited about sharing this with you. Some things about me is my name is Rain Boyd, and I have been gardening for about 10 years. It started out with my dad. He moved in with us and after he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and we had been working together in an upholstery shop, which I think is funny how God just changed directions and put me in a garden from upholstery. But anyway, what I was saying is that my dad came to live with us, and to provide some entertainment for him, he said he wanted a garden. And so we built some boxes, some raised boxes. I had no idea what I was doing, and I just kind of walked alongside of my dad and learned from there. And that was 10 years ago. And now I fell in love with playing in the dirt and watching things grow and sharing that information. And so I became a master gardener. So I have my certificate in that, and I just achieved that this past fall. And then I began having a heart to teach, and I think this is the really great way to do that. So I'm excited to show you what all I have going on here. We do different types of gardening, which I do raised bed gardening, in-ground gardening, container gardening, and all the other different ways. So I am excited to show you my garden. Are you ready? I'm super excited. This is my favorite place on the entire planet. But if my husband asks, it's beside him. Okay, so come on into the garden. Okay, so this right here is my little garden of some of my favorite flowers, which we'll talk about that later, but that's a pink charm verbena that I love so much. Pincushion and some candy tuft. But y'all, check this out right here. This is my clematis. Look how huge that is. The cool thing about it is not only the face of it, but the back. Can you see the back? That is phenomenal. I just think that's so beautiful. So in here, I have two different types of beds. I have terrace beds going all the way down 30 feet. This is 30 feet. And I have 2 planting layers, a walkway, and then a third planting layer up there. And on the right here, I have 10 raised beds that my husband so kindly made me. I have what's considered a potager, I think is how you say it, potager garden, which is where I mix in my herbs, my blooms, and my veggies. So it creates a beautiful space, and the pollinators love it, and I love it, and it's super beneficial. It's a big relationship between plants, which y'all, that preaches, I'm just saying. Mainly I'm gonna do tomatoes down through here, and this layer and up. So for example, here I have, these are tomatoes, which I'll be putting the trellis in. This is a penta, and these are violas that I have left over from when I had my winter veggies in here. But they're still growing strong, and I'm just not about pulling them out because they're so gorgeous. So I'm just gonna let them do their thing until they just decide they're gonna be done. This bed right here is currently empty except for some perennials that I have. This will be all planted with some seedlings that I have in the greenhouse pretty soon. And up on the top part, right now I have some peppers and some squash. This is my kale, which is one of my favorite foods. I love, love, love kale. Not because I eat it raw, but because I put it in smoothies. And these are more sweet peas that I have. And see, you can plant plants like this. They'll live together happily. Although I caught a squirrel eating my pea seeds, so I only ended up with a few. This gorgeous thing right here is asparagus, and this is the 4th year
of me growing it. So I should be able to harvest a good many off of my crowns. But they always say you should have planted asparagus 3 years ago because it takes 3 years for it to get established. This is broccoli because I did plant this in early March, but I have trouble with slugs. It's time for me to pull these, I think, because they're just gonna bolt. I think that when you're doing a garden, you can be practical about a lot of things, but growing pretty food woos me and I get super excited about it. So you saw the kale that I have up here, which is gorgeous, right? But look at this. Look at the veining in that. And it just, imagine that just being on your plate and you just whipping up a cool salad, and it's just so pretty and fluffy. I just love it. I just think it's gorgeous. So this is my zucchini right here. And then I have some heirloom tomatoes, which this is really cool. This is called a potato leaf tomato, which I think is really neat. But this is brandywine. Brandywine's a classic heirloom. This is gomphrena and some basil. Some more basil. And sometimes I just come out here and I'm smelling all the plants, and I'll just kind of rub it together, and I'll just go in, and my husband will be like, "Baby, you smell like herbs. You smell like garden." This is some more peppers right here. This is mint, a little sad mint. But these right here, these little rock stars, are potatoes. And I'm super excited about that. This is one of the first things that I grew and had a successful harvest. But if you just want to grow something and you're not really sure, I encourage you to grow potatoes because they are phenomenally easy and they're productive. And you get instant gratification almost when you pull them up and you're like, "Oh, hey, little potato friend." Well, that's what I say. But these are onions. I've never grown onions before successfully. These are the candy onions is the variety. But I think I planted them a little bit late because they're starting to throw up. Look at this. Look at this pretty little, this is a radish bloom. Isn't that gorgeous? And then these babies, these are strawberries. So the last part of my food garden is right around the corner. I'm going to show you. But this is my little potting bench, y'all. It just collects all the things. And I love this because I'm able to just pop in my plants and then store my stuff and have it nice and away. It's a little used, but I think that's precious because it came from my sweet little friend, Mr. Reed. Is his late wife's, and so I'm honored to have it here. So this is my little potting bench area. I love it. I keep my soil and different containers, and then these guys are my ready to seed trays because I'm constantly seeding things throughout the year actually. So where I live, you can actually grow food all year round if you know what to grow, when to grow it, which no worries because I'll teach you. But I also, because I'm a gardener, I collect all the things and I don't throw away any of the things, and it drives my husband nuts, but I always find uses for them. So that's that's how I'm allowed to keep it. But this is my heart. Okay, so these guys are blueberry plants. My sweet daddy, who I shared about before, one of the first things that he wanted to grow in the garden was a blueberry. So what we did is, this is Daddy's blueberry plant that we planted in his garden probably about 7 years ago. So I have Doodah's blueberries in here, and they're loaded down, which I need to net like super fast before the birds get them. But I just think that's so precious. But within my blueberries, I have a so this is a regular blueberry, and then the two beside them is a pink blueberry. It's called Pink Lemonade. And I joke around and I call them poo berries because they're pink blueberries. And my husband's like, that's probably not a good marketing technique, but I think it's hilarious and I crack myself up. So really.
All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and taking a tour of my little garden. I look so forward to being able to share my journey with you guys and for y'all to come along with me. Listen, if you liked what you saw today, or if you're curious about what else we can get into and how far we're going to go, I want to make sure that we get as much information out there so people can walk along and learn some of the things so that you don't make some of the mistakes that maybe I did or other people do. So again, hit that like button, hit that share button, and subscribe. Y'all have a blessed day. See you later.